Hey y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders. I am Heather.
And I am Dylan.
It is a wonderful midweek offbeat episode.
Oh, yay! Hey!
How long can I draw that out? Okay.
That's what a gay cow eats. Hey!
I love gay cows.
Me too.
It's Pride Month.
It is.
Pride Month, bitch.
And I love it.
You do?
Yeah.
You're proud?
I'm proud. I'm proud for other people.
I'm proud of everybody too.
I just want everybody to do whatever they want.
I cannot believe, mentioning Pride Month, that we are almost into the month of July, and the 4th is just a few days away.
Yeah. I mean, where did summer go? I mean, the boys of summer haven't even showed up yet.
They haven't?
No.
Did you see a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac yet? Or?
No.
Oh, yeah, I haven't either.
No, the venues haven't even opened up for, the boys of summer to perform at.
I don't know. I've been trying to get out and enjoy some summer experiences. I did take in a baseball game over the weekend. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool. It was a AAA ball team here in the minor league here in the area, and it seems like y'all had fun. I was stuck at work, unfortunately, but it looked like a good day to be at the ballpark.
Getting to do a little swimming, thinking about doing some fishing, trying to enjoy what's left of summer. But it feels weird considering we didn't really get to do a ton of this stuff last year. Now everything's reopening, but it just feels different.
It almost feels hollow.
It's very strange not wearing a mask as well. I feel so naked. I'm like, people can see my ugly face.
I leaned too much into the mask because I started, getting cool masks, mask alike, a mask that made a statement about who I am as a person.
Did it say butthole on it?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. But then I'm like, I kind of want to keep the mask as a fashion accessory.
I like my mask because I can pretend to be Bane and talk about the city of Gotham in my Bane voice.
Oh my God, you guys can't imagine how many times she did that one. Never got old. Never. And you know who really hates that the masks are gone? Ugly people with pretty eyes.
Me!
No, I'm saying.
I know!
Because they was going around with them pretty ass eyes and people was like, oh my God.
No, I would wear the mask and then I would wear glasses and then I would get compliments on my glasses for being cool. Which made me feel good because it's like nobody ever compliments me, so that's awesome.
That's a damn lie.
It's totally true.
People compliment your hair and glasses and such all the time.
Hopefully you had an opportunity to check out this week's Mountain Murders episode about Sean Powell out of Knoxville. Interesting case. So far, I've gotten quite a bit of feedback on it, Dylan. People were like, what a wild story.
Well, that was a very wild case. It really was, and we carried on quite a bit, and that was a fun episode. And enjoyed doing it, but it was just a really strange story because it's one of those when at first you're like, oh, I know this type of story, but it kind of works out in a way you don't expect.
Well, this week's Offbeat, we are bringing you just a mini episode. We know a lot of folks are going on vacations, getting out of town, looking forward to the 4th, so you may not have as much free time to listen to podcasts. We don't want to bog you down, right? Probably got other things you got to do. So we're going to bring you some true crime news.
Oh, I enjoy when we do that.
I thought you were going to start the show, Dylan. Get to it.
Well, I've had one thing on my mind the last few days, and that would be the apparent alleged suicide of John McAfee.
I'm not on your mind?
Well, you're always on my mind.
I feel like Willie Nelson, I should always be on your mind.
You are. But I have to think about other things too sometimes, baby.
That hurts my feelings.
Like, what am I going to talk about?
Oh my gosh, if I don't get all of your attention, I'm going to die.
Like, what am I going to talk about on the podcast?
Me?
I can't just be like, Heather is so incredible.
How
I love her
much
so
you love
much.
Me? Yeah, I don't think that's going to get old for me. Okay, so we're talking about John McAfee. Now, I don't know a ton about the McAfee story, but you have been filling me in. It seems really outrageous.
Well, yeah, before his even a death in a Spanish jail cell, it was a really crazy story with Mr. McAfee. And if you don't know who he is, he actually pioneered antivirus software.
The McAfee virus software.
And so
so popular.
I've told people they're like, oh, I don't know who he is, but I know what that is because it was literally labeled on your computers and stuff back in the day, right? Everyone was preloaded with this antivirus software, and he made a ton of money. and which is strange. I'd watched a documentary quite a while ago about his crazy life, but I wasn't sure why because he was living in Belize.
Was it called My Vida Loca?
No,
Oh. I want to live in Belize.
he was living in Belize.
When you told me that, I was super jealous. That's like my dream. If I could move anywhere in the world and just like retire, I would go to Belize.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there.
I'd be a beach bum.
And he was living there because he had
And he's rich.
He had very rich.
Fuck
And
that guy.
I'm sure your money goes a long ways in Belize. And but he was living there because apparently he fled the U.S. over tax evasion charges of $4 million, which I find very strange.
Well,
Cause
sometimes taxes do feel invasive.
this guy had a shit ton of money, so I don't understand.
So $4 million would be like a drop in the bucket to his like what $100 million fortune or something.
Yeah, at one time he was valued at that, and upon his death, it was a lot less than that. Some bad investments and him just spending money like no tomorrow. And then in Belize, he got into a situation where someone was killed, and the cops were trying to investigate that and put the charges on him for murder. So he kind of.
Well, like who got murdered? Do you know the details?
I don't know.
I need to know more.
I don't know the deets on that. I can't remember the deets on that. You could really take a whole episode and talk about John McAfee, right? I mean, you really could. It's such a crazy story.
2 or 3 episodes, it sounds like.
And so then he flees Belize to Guatemala and then ends up at some point in Spain in a Spanish jail cell. And then he said the whole time that people high up in the government, American government, are out to get him. And that if he ever committed suicide or got Epstein, as he's been saying lately, he didn't commit suicide. It wasn't him. And he went so far as to have whacked tattooed on his arm to kind of represent that sentiment.
Okay, so do you think that he was murdered, or do you think he set this whole thing up because he wanted to be part of a conspiracy theory and like fuck with the government? Because that's pretty brilliant. Honestly.
He's very eccentric and very oddball kind of guy, and he's in his 70s now, right? So if he was going to end up in jail, it would be for the rest of his life, no matter what. And so, that could be his motivation to actually commit suicide, right? Especially if you've laid out this story for years and years, and just make it look funky. So you don't even know. This thing spirals off into a mega conspiracy because he claimed to have terabytes of information on the Belize government and other government officials. Because what he did, at some point, he claims that he donated a bunch of laptops to like local governments, like the secretaries and such.
Okay.
It was loaded with a back door. So he took control of their systems. And I believe this guy could pull this off because, he's a computer dude, right?
Right.
Guru. He took control of their systems and got all kinds of proof of corruption on various levels in the government.
It's exciting.
So he claimed to have these terabytes of information about the government in Belize, the American government, in his condo in guess where? Which I don't know if it's like
Florida?
In Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
And what just happened in Miami, bruh?
Will Smith was getting jiggy with it. Nah. Miami. No?
The condo collapse.
Yeah, I don't watch the news or keep up with the news at all anymore, but you told me there was a condo collapse.
Yeah, and I do not have any idea if he actually had a condo there, if he actually had these, I don't know if it'd be dedicated hard drive or some physical.
So that's your conspiracy theory?
No, this is other people's conspiracy
That
theory.
somehow maybe he was connected to the condo that collapsed, possibly?
What I said to you, apparently you never listened to me talk, is people that had the power and capability to make a building collapse to hide something, wouldn't they just break in the fucking condo and steal it? Right? Wouldn't you
That's not me not listening to you. That was me just reiterating what you, like, I was just trying to clarify. Like, so that's what you're saying is this is other people's conspiracy theories?
Yes, this is not
Okay.
Dylan Packer's conspiracy theory.
Snippy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Are you having your period?
No,
God, you're being kind of a bitch.
I'm menstruating.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's
I'm
right.
awfully being a bitch right now.
Bleeding out my tank.
Do I need to get you some some salty popcorn and like some chocolate ice cream or something?
Well, I'm not mad right now, but can you make that happen? That sounds good.
Maybe. If you'd be
Yeah,
nice.
so there's the crazy John McAfee is dead. We don't know if he was Epsteined, and I guess there'll be more to come on that story. His widow, his family are demanding a second autopsy because an autopsy has been performed, and the medical examiner supposedly said the cause of death is definitely suicide, and he allegedly had a suicide note inside of his pants pocket. But if you're suiciding someone, you're gonna have you'll be able to plan all that, right?
Well, you could possibly.
Right.
It's interesting. I wonder who will star as McAfee when they make a movie about all of this.
Well, I think Matthew McConaughey could do it.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's thinly built like Mr. McAfee, and he could totally McAfee had a crazy eyes thing going on, and
Yeah.
McConaughey can pull that off.
Oh, that's a good one. I
Yeah,
was thinking more like Harrison Ford because I just think he should just be in all my action movies.
I hate to say it, honey, he's getting old.
Yeah, well, he should just be in all my action movies. I don't like action films, but Harrison.
Oh my
he
God, I
does
think
it.
I'm gonna accuse you of being the wiggle bug today.
I am a little bit
I
of
think something, yeah, you're doing like Dylan. And
well, I know.
I'm being Heather, and I'm gonna tell you to cut it out.
That's fine. I'll stop. I have a true crime story that is interesting, Dylan.
Lay it on me.
It's sad, but it's just odd. So I thought we should talk about it. There's a Maine mom who was accused of abusing her son. He died, and then she tried to cover it up. There was a medical examiner who ruled that a young boy, 3-year-old boy named Maddox Williams, died from blunt force trauma, and that his mother, Jessica, just told police, oh, well, kids play wild and crazy, and he just bruises so easily. Maddox Williams stopped breathing, and by the time his mom brought him into the hospital, there just wasn't a whole lot that could be done. His mother, Jessica, who's 35, told emergency room staff that the child had been knocked to the ground by the family dog, and then kicked by his older sister, who was 8. The autopsy, though, suggested something much worse. Internal bleeding from a ruptured bowel, a fractured spine, bleeding on the child's brain, bruises on his arms, legs, and head.
My God.
Temporary, this is the part that stuck out, and I was like, this is why we need to talk about this story, because it's so wow. Temporary stick-on tattoos covered 3 abrasions on the boy's face and forehead, according to the medical examiner. And the little boy died the same day that he was taken to the hospital. On June 23rd, the mother was arrested and charged in her son's murder. And the medical examiner said that the child died by multiple blunt force trauma inflicted non-accidentally. The mom's being held right now on a $150,000 bond in Stockton Springs, which is in Waldo County. I don't know whether she's got an attorney or if she's made a plea deal or, taken a plea or, I'm sorry, not taken a plea deal, but entered a plea is what I was trying to say. But the crazy part is she put these temporary tattoos on the boy to cover up his injuries.
Well, I mean, that definitely sounds like there's something fishy going on there, right?
She did text a friend and say, no, I did not kill my son, according to an affidavit. She said she had no idea how her son would have gotten such injuries, but that he did bruise very easily, as I mentioned. She, again, told them her daughter had a dog on a leash. It knocked the child down. Her son had fallen days earlier off of a trampoline, but he had seemed fine and wasn't bleeding. But of course, the medical examiner is like, these injuries are way too severe to be caused by kids playing, falling from trampolines, or even being knocked down by, a puppy.
I don't think a kid's going to get a fractured spine and just walk it off and not complain about. Even if he did have a bad fall off a trampoline, certainly you can be injured in many ways from a trampoline, right? That could happen, but I don't think that's going to be a type of injury you get and then just walk it off and don't complain about it, right?
Jessica was with a guy named Andrew who happens to be Maddox's father. They've split up, and he hadn't actually seen his son since April 10th, so it had been a little while. But when he had seen his son the last time, the child had a bruise and a cut like on his face, like around his eye area. And the father even took photos of this so he couldn't be blamed for the injury, like to document that this had happened. She has 5 kids.
Oh my God.
And the other father, because she's got these 5 children, she's got 3 kids by this one guy named Jason Trefethan, and he was asked by detectives whether she was abusive, and he was just like, I don't know, you'll have to ask her. Like, really vague. Like, you would know if you've got children with someone, you could answer whether your kids hey, my kids come here with bruises or not, you know?
Well, you could at least say what you've seen and observed and been part of or privy to. I mean, that's just a dumb answer by an adult, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like, I know you are, but what am I? I mean,
It
what
just
the
seems
fuck,
really
dude?
unhelpful, too. I mean, a child is dead.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just say something that would be helpful?
Or say yes or no.
Right.
I mean, if she didn't and you haven't seen signs of abuse, make that obvious. State that. If you did, I would bring that up as well. That seems kind of, I don't know, maybe he's just taken aback by all the things that are going on.
Maybe.
Well, that's a sad story.
I have another interesting one. This is probably like, I would say, one of the biggest pieces of true crime news to break here in the last week or so. There's a French engineer who says that he cracked the remaining Zodiac ciphers, including the one that revealed the serial killer's identity.
No, wait, so this is another, we had not long ago, there was a cipher cracked from the Zodiac, right? It was a couple did it, I believe, or maybe that was
so.
early on.
I think so, yeah.
That might have been early on in the case years ago.
I think his name is either Fakal or Fasal Zirawa, and he claims that he cracked the code, revealing the serial killer's identity. But a lot of experts in the Zodiac case and just in the cipher community in general are not exactly like buying his claim. This guy Zarau became inspired to crack the code back in December after learning that Codebreaker solved another cipher, I guess in some other case. So there are 4 ciphers that were disseminated by the Zodiac, who was responsible, of course, for terrorizing Northern California, committing 5 murders between 68 and 69. And then all the while, he liked taunting the public about his crimes, sending the media these coded messages. And the first cipher, Dylan, you were correct. It was a high school teacher named Donald Harden and his wife Betty who cracked the very first cipher. And they were able to decode it. They really like decoding, like, I guess, doing puzzles types of things.
Yeah, some people do that shit for fun.
Isn't that cool?
I could never do it.
I think it would be fun. So then there were 2 other ciphers, Z13 and Z32, which have long remained unsolved. The Z13, I'm sorry, I wanted to say the Z72. I don't know why I said that. The Z13 was sent to the San Francisco Chronicle in 1970 with the statement, "My name is," and then it was just followed by 13 letters and symbols. So this guy Zarawi claims that it took 2 weeks using a key that he created to solve the cipher. And he knows who the Zodiac is. It's Lawrence K., a salesman and career criminal who lived in South Lake Tahoe that was once a suspect in the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Zarawi claims he found further evidence after decoding to show that Kay was the killer. He deciphered a sentence, Labor Day, find 45.069 North, 58.719 West in Z32, which refers to coordinates based on the Earth's magnetic field. And Zarawi says it matches up near a school in South Lake Tahoe.
Wow, so is that like a longitude, latitude coordinates or something like to that effect?
It just says that.
That's a very strange way that they put that. So he's basically saying this is who the Zodiac was, and the rest of this message gives you basically coordinates that puts it in that area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is an online forum. It's called Zodiac Killer Site, where a lot of true crime sleuths and us couch detectives try to crack the cipher, discuss theories on the case. It's just all about the Zodiac. So he says he posted his findings there, but has been met with nothing but like skepticism and critique from the online community.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because something funny happens when people go online in any forum. They're all of a sudden experts, right? I'll see a TikTok about some concrete, like that didn't do right, some big concrete project. And I'm like, wow, all these people on here are concrete people that work in concrete because everybody knows what you're supposed to do or what you should have done, which I find amazing. So I don't know anything about ciphers. I would love to do it. Seems kind of fun figuring something out, but I don't think I'd ever be capable of doing that. Right?
Well, because it's such a short cipher, like it was 13 numbers and letters and symbols or whatever. The people that are discrediting this guy say that it was just too short. The cipher, the message was
have all that information
to even decode, because you can't determine if they're correct because it's such a short message. You can't verify or establish like a pattern.
Okay, well, that kind of makes sense, right?
I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Well, I think that just comes down to the key and how the cipher's set up. You know what I mean? If somehow those numbers and symbols each mean a whole word instead of just a letter, then I guess it's possible. But yeah, again, I don't know how that stuff works.
There is a professor and a cryptographer from France named David Nakache and another cryptography specialist at France's National Institute for Research in Digital Science and Technology named Emmanuel Thome. And they both told the New York Times during an interview that the methods Zarawe used are actually legitimate. So there was a possibility that he could have cracked the code. He graduated from the École Polytechnique and HEC in Paris, which is one of the country's top engineering schools. He is a freelance business consultant, and he expressed to the New York Times during an interview himself that solving codes was really easy for him, and like it was something that he kind of always been able to do.
Yeah, some people's wired like that.
But the hardest part right now would be just proving that like he was right.
And he said Lawrence K., but the police actually know who that really is, right?
Well, I mean, one thing I read said that he had been a suspect, and then another thing I read said that he hadn't, that he had never been publicly named a suspect. So I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds like he might have been on police's radar, but maybe they didn't ever come out and publicly say this is one of the people we're looking at.
Now, is that the letter K or like the word K?
Kaye.
Okay, so that's a full name.
Yes.
Full name, coordinates of sorts. Well, that's
the
pretty
guy's
interesting.
from Lake Tahoe, and the coordinates would take you to South Lake Tahoe. I don't know. It could just be, a fraud type of thing.
Well, he could genuinely think he cracked it, but he didn't crack it. He could have some, kind of tainted his own theories with some other information or something like that. Or he very well could have cracked the code. Well, I must admit, the Zodiac doesn't exactly excite me. I find it kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of over it, I guess. I do that with some of the big older cases.
I feel the same way of all the big, if you think of like, I guess the top true crime stories or cases, the Zodiac's never been really in my top 10.
But I must say, the Zodiac, Son of Sam killings, the rapist who was recently got through genealogy, the
D'Angelo or whatever, the Golden State?
Golden State rapist or Golden State killer.
Isn't his name D'Angelo?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I must say, these people truly terrorize. Ramirez, I would assign him to the same thing. Terrorize an entire region. I mean, have people just scared to freaking death.
They're fucking monsters.
They're monsters, and their method and the joy they got out of the media bonanza and just terrifying everyone. The sniper, DC sniper, did the same thing in our modern day. They just really a fear where you could just feel it in the air that the entire community and area, city, whatever you want to call it, is scared to death to even walk out on the street alone. So that's scary, and that's really messed up. Yeah.
Well, bringing up the Zodiac, I mean, one of the most terrifying things about that, I guess, is being murdered with your significant other, your partner, boyfriend, in like a lover's lane type of setting. That's so terrifying and scary. So I can see why so many urban legends have like been kind of rooted in those stories of
Yeah.
like couples making out in the dark and
The hook.
or they hear something above the car and it's like
It's the boyfriend hanging from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff is really frightening, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I think your imagination just runs wild with that. And I really think that's why that's the basis of quite a few urban legends.
Well, the reason that I mentioned that is I recently was watching Unsolved Mysteries, like the old Robert Stack series.
That's the best.
I know. I'll just put it on and like let it play for hours, and just catch like bits and pieces of stories.
His voice soothes me.
So I was listening to this one case that really spoke to me. It was just so strange. And it reminds me a bit of like the Zodiac type of thing or the Texarkana murder. There was a couple named Thomas Hotard and Audrey Mote, and they were killed in Laplace, Louisiana, back in the 50s, like the late 50s. And it's such a strange story. So Thomas Hotard was 46 years old. He was a Louisiana native, and he was romantically involved with Audrey Mote. She was 31-year-old divorced mother of 3. She was from Baton Rouge. They would regularly meet up with each other and like have this, torrid love affair because he was married.
Ooh.
And they had this whole kind of like a schedule. Like they would both tell people they were working like on Saturdays, and then they would meet up really early in the morning and go have like breakfast at a cafe, and then like I guess go off and enjoy
Like a town over or something like that.
their date day together. And I guess that would include sometimes, trysts.
Man, they were putting in work.
Yeah. Well, it's really strange because on this one particular day, they met each other, same type of thing. They met really early in the morning. They were seen together, left together. But then there was like no sign of them afterwards. And it was like a day later, November 25th of 1956, that Thomas was found dead from a gunshot wound that was fired at close range through the rear window of his car. Audrey was nowhere around, but inside the car, you could tell that there had been some sort of like scene. She was undressed, so she was probably only wearing like a bra and a slip because the rest of her clothing was in the floorboard. And he was positioned in a way that you could tell they probably were doing the deed.
Okay.
And, she left behind like her personal items. They did find a few small footprints in the mud because this is out near like Lake Pontchartrain, like in this kind of swampy, secluded area. And so they did find in the mud like a small footprint, and they did find some larger boot prints.
Oh, that's weird.
As if like she had escaped and was running and somebody chased her. But that has been an unsolved case for all these years.
Wow.
Yeah. But they were having this secret romantic relationship, and then, dang, somebody kills them.
Well, that sounds possibly like someone who found out about the love affair and, paid them both back.
Well, what's really strange, okay, so, there's footprints. Her purse is never found on the evening that she had met him or whatever. They did find her car like abandoned at the restaurant. I guess it was like the evening they found his body, they ended up finding her car. But I don't think she's ever been found. There's no trace of her ever. So people just don't even know what happened to her. Someone called, I think it was her mother-in-law, and claimed to be Audrey and was like, I need help, and then hung the phone up.
Oh, wow.
And then other people had reported seeing her like in other areas around, in restaurants and stuff. Really strange. But what's so bizarre is that in the early 80s, this guy named Ernest Acosta told his kids that his live-in girlfriend, a woman named Caroline Slesser, who had already died in 1979, had actually killed the couple.
Okay.
So this couple, Ernest and Caroline, lived only like maybe a mile away from this area where these folks were having their rendezvous. And they were like really private people, and they were like gun lovers and would shoot at random people driving by and like anybody who came on their property and that sort of thing.
Okay, so at first I was wondering motive, but basically maybe they keep coming back to this spot. Maybe she had words with him like, you shouldn't be around here. I don't want you around here. And then got pissed off and killed him, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he says. Ernest is like, she killed them. I came home. I guess he wasn't home that evening or something. She killed them. He came home and he helped her dispose of the bodies. Or
What the
dispose
hell?
of Audrey's body and then move the other body. But he claims that they were shot in his house.
Okay.
So they had come there and entered the home for some reason, and she shot them.
Oh, see, now he may be adding that to like give her some justified reason to have shot them.
No, I mean, I think they came, like, knocked on the door. She let them in. He said that Audrey was somehow distantly related to this woman, but that she just didn't like anybody being in or around them. Like, she didn't even like his own kids coming around.
Okay.
But they both kind of shared this. Well, that guy was like a hunter, wore boots, knew the area well. Obviously, someone walked into this place, shot them, and walked out, and we found the boot prints. So
Right.
it would make sense that he was the one.
Well, she could be wearing boots. She might be that type of gal.
I mean, maybe.
She might have big old man feet.
But again, like, how scary. You're in the middle of this loving embrace or, whatever you're doing.
Well, see, and you make fun of me because I'd prefer just to be in the bedroom. Hey, I don't want to do the public thing. I'm
I
not
don't
going to
make
do
fun of you.
Yeah, you do.
You act like I'm trying to get you to be like, hey, bend me over this ride at Dollywood while the children watch. No,
Well-
that's weird.
All I know is I won't be slaughtered out there in the lover's lane.
See, you make it sound like I'm some kind of freak.
No.
And I'm a retired freak since I married you. But what I'm saying is,
You can't make no damn freak a housewife.
you won't even, like, be intimate in other rooms of our house.
Well, that's not
So
true.
that's why I make fun of you, because I'm like, really? Because you'll be like, oh, no, I don't know about the couch. I got to go to the bedroom. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I try.
That's not a public place, Dylan.
I try, but it just don't work out till you get me in that nest.
Oh, my Lord.
The love nest.
Don't tell people that.
Baby.
No.
Yes.
No. I guess at least you don't have to worry about a bag-headed killer coming up, right?
Not unless he's in my bedroom, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I thought that Audrey Moat story was so interesting, and I just wonder, like, with those old cases, it seems like, oh, they'll never be solved. But then with DNA, and I don't know, you have to think at some point, like, there's still hope.
Yeah, I mean, you've
that
dropped
you may
multiple.
know.
We've had some notable old cases. Golden State Killer, for one, that was a biggie. And you dropped a couple of stories on our Discord. There was, or maybe actually one of our Discord fan might have dropped it. That old man who was gotten for a 40-year-old murder of a young girl.
Oh, yeah, recently.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's going to be the number one way that these things are solved. Either old evidence is finally, retested with new techniques, or genealogy.
Well, I guess what makes it even more difficult now is the beach area where they were parked when this happened, by the lake, kind of in this sort of swampy area by the lake. That beach has been since washed away. Like the water's come in 100 feet or something in now.
Like the entire landscape's
So
changed.
that entire, due to the weather and storms, hurricanes, all
Right.
of that. So now it's not, you can't even get to the crime scene. You'd have to walk out 100 feet into the lake before you even came to the part where they had been shot.
So you couldn't even revisit it and get an idea for the
No.
area.
Yeah,
which
no, not at all.
sounds like that type of area would be hard. It'd probably be changed quite a bit anyway, just so overgrown and who knows what.
It also
Well,
sounds like the type of area that if Audrey Moat's body had been dumped out there, that you're likely to never find remains because of the wildlife and the weather the environment, the elements.
When I'm telling you, that's one place on Earth, the swamp, that is kind of creepy.
Like those bayou murders, there's
Yeah.
that show. Like, I'm so fascinated by those stories because you're right. To me, that is one of the most, like, I don't know, creepy places where
Well,
you could dispose of a body.
Yes, well, you got the environment for one is going to quickly degrade the body, and for two, there's actually wildlife that can eat and will eat a human, gators, stuff like that. So yeah,
Big ass turtles.
well, I mean, just think about like if you lived in Africa, right? And I'm sure this has happened in Africa. You kill someone, and you're like, well, shit, what am I going to do with the body? Well, hell, you just take it out there on the tundra. A damn pack of hyenas come up and just dispose of every single ounce of the body.
Or a lion.
Or a lion or lionesses. Actually.
Tiger, a bear.
Oh, my.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nobody get any ideas from our... we outlined some perfect ways to murder people sometimes, and it's never to be used, right? If you accidentally end up with a body, maybe you can use some of our techniques.
No, that's not what we're teaching these people, Dylan.
Don't kill people.
But yeah, the swamp does seem like an area where you could easily lose a body there and no one would ever find it.
Yup. All right.
Never going to the swamp again.
You got something else for us?
No, that's it.
Are we going to let people go finish the rest of summer?
We're going to let them enjoy the rest of their week, celebrate if they are here in the United States, maybe celebrate the 4th of July, although some people are like, I don't know what the fuck I'm celebrating. But hey, get patriotic with it.
So eat some good food and have some laughs with your family.
I'm looking forward to the 4th, Dylan. We have fun plans.
Yeah, we're totally going to try to make it happen and have a little fun. We hope everyone out there is getting a chance to open up a little bit. You know, get back out there, try to be normal as you can. And we hope that this podcast finds everyone healthy and happy.
Can I also take a moment to say we recently were exploring where are our listeners, their location worldwide. We have listeners, it seems, in almost every country, which is so amazing to me. It like warms my heart and just gives me such good fuzzy feelings.
It's certainly all regions around the world and all 50 states of the US of A and Canada, UK, all them in there, Australia,
Slovenia,
Japan, Asia.
Finland?
Yeah, dude.
France.
It's everywhere.
Belize. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, hey, we've got some listeners down in Belize. And if you want to hook a girl up with a place to stay, call me.
Yeah, let us know.
Because I want to come to Belize.
We'll arrange airfare and we'll come down there and stay in your house.
Also Bali.
Yeah.
I would like to travel to Bali.
No, but I guess what Heather's saying is we're amazed every day still.
Thank you.
That anyone listens to us carry on with each other. And thank you. Because without people listening, not that we're podcast rich or anything, but we're still going. And our patrons have a lot to do with that. And thank you. Because without you listening, we would not still be doing this.
It's true. And it's, like I said, just amazing that I take for granted that most of our listeners would probably be local people or from the Appalachian region. I expect listeners maybe North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, those states that border us. But to see a listener in Nova Scotia or across the sea in Spain, China, I'm just like blown away.
What the hell?
So thanks for listening to two good old hick redneck hillbillies talk about true crime.
That's right. We're hicks with hearts. Hey, is that a t-shirt?
Yeah, I'm a proud hillbilly.
Yeah, I want to start that brand. Hicks with hearts.
My brand is hillbilly anarchist shit.
Yeah.
That really is my brand.
Yeah, and if you like that, she can get you a shirt out to you.
It's true. I have a lot of hillbilly anarchist shit shirts.
Hit up her
and
DM.
Other shirts that would be within that realm of hillbilly anarchists. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back this weekend with a special 4th of July Mountain Murders. It's going to be so hot. It's going to be like pow pow, like some firecrackers.
Oh my God, it's going to be on the 4th, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Say your goodbye, Dylan.
Bye.